I came across Big Fork Brands recently, and it's become one of those finds you actually want to tell people about, and you don't find that often. Okay. They're doing bacon sausage, plus these really solid pork jerky snacks and Chicago style sauces. Basically, upgrade anything you throw them on burgers, hot dogs, fries, throw it on there. It works.
But I bet it's packed full of junk.
Actually, it's made with clean ingredients and real care. That's small batch with no shortcuts, and people are obsessed with the flavor. You can go over to bigforkbrands.com, use our code INFOGO at checkout, and get 20% off anything on the site.
You can find the link and our code in the show notes. Welcome to the podcast. I'm William,
And I'm Kat.
and that makes this a dash of info.
Little things you want to know.
So, have you ever stopped to wonder about your alarm clock?
I
Uh,
always wondered why it sounded like a nuclear alarm,
I,
back in
I
the day.
I just wish mine would blow up sometimes.
Ah, yes. Yes, especially if you forget to turn it off and you don't have to get up at 4 a.m.
Mm,
on the weekends.
yeah. Oh, wow. Or you forget to turn it off, and then it go, well, now I guess you got cell phones and you can just set it like a routine, but back in the day you couldn't.
No, and I had to set mine across the room or at least where I had to get up, so I had to turn it off. Otherwise, I'd just turn it off because it was one press and you were done.
So, the room's dark, it's dark outside, it's quiet. You're all wrapped up in, just the warmth of your bed. All right, so you're all in a dream. You're trying to wait to the end because you want to see how it ends, and then it happens. That freaking alarm clock goes off.
Beep, beep, beep. Or maybe it's a digital chime or birds chirping on your phone or that one alarm tone that you hate.
Yes, yes. There's a couple that I cannot stand to hear.
Yeah, I've had to put bad to the bone as my so I have one that when I open in the mornings, I have one at 4:30 and then I have one at 5 and then I have one at 5:30 and that's that 5:31 is bad to the bone and then I'm like, "Okay, I really have to get up now."
But your heart jumps, your eyes are open, and the day begins, whether you're doing it bad to the bone style or some other way.
Yes. We rarely think about it, but the alarm clock might be one of the most powerful objects in modern life. It decides, well, you have to set it, right? But it decides when your day starts, it interrupts sleep, and it overrides biology. And strangely enough, the alarm clock really has a darker history than you really might expect.
And I say, let's explore that history today. What do you think?
Indeed, let us.
All right. So before alarm clocks, because there was a time before alarm clocks. For most of human history, people woke up with natural light. The rising sun acted as the world's original alarm clock. Farmers followed daylight. Craftspeople followed community rhythms. Markets opened with the morning light. Even sleep itself was different. Historians believe many people slept in two segments called first sleep and second sleep, with a quiet waking period somewhere in between.
Right. And the quiet waking period in between was kind of like where people would write their poetry or do some doodles in their journal or whatever. I read about that once. That was kind of awesome. But cities changed everything. During the Industrial Revolution, factories needed workers awake before sunrise, right? I mean, you can't run the line without being there, okay? Machines didn't care about seasons or sunlight. So a strange profession appeared, which was the knocker upper, which,
Hold on. I'm so sorry. The knocker upper.
yes, and that's not at all what you think it might mean, okay?
My little 10-year-old brain went knocker upper.
So, yes, that indeed was a real job title, and that's definitely not along the lines of some other things you may be thinking, okay?
You
Knocker
mean
upper.
not along the lines of my 10-year-old brain, right?
No,
Okay.
or that guy that got in trouble for fathering too many children because he was in charge of a sperm bank.
Oh, wow. I saw that on Netflix.
Yeah, same. Okay.
Our
Anyway,
Father, is that what it was?
I believe so. I
All
believe
right.
so because it was like over 100 kids or something like that.
Anyway, we're not promoting Netflix. Let's keep going.
No, no, we are not at all sponsored
Uh,
by Netflix, although that would be nice.
that would
Okay.
be nice.
If you got a hookup, please. In any case, knocker-uppers walked through dark streets, tapping on windows with long sticks. Some used small hammers. Others shot dried peas through blowpipes to wake sleeping workers. Well, that doesn't sound like a fun time.
Could you imagine paying someone to do that on a weekly basis?
Heck no, I
Just to
wouldn't.
make sure you didn't oversleep.
No. Well, and of course, probably during this time, this is still where you had the man going to work and the woman and children at home.
Yeah. I mean, the knocker upper, it sounds funny. We're making fun of it, but it's almost kind of charming.
They're knocking to wake you up.
But it reveals something important. Waking up was no longer natural. Now it was scheduled. So the first mechanical alarm clock dates back centuries, but early versions were extremely limited. Some could only ring at one preset time, often 4 a.m. And honestly, that tells you everything you need to know about early industrial life.
Yeah, yeah.
No
So
snooze button.
there was no snooze button. I saw something else about this. And so they would put a nail in a certain spot of the candle. And so that one little tink, tink, tink of the candle finally melting down and letting that nail fall into the basin or whatever was holding said candle, that's how you woke up. Okay, there was no snooze button. There was just a tink, 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 and you had to wake up. And that was it. So, anyway, by the mid 1800s, alarm clocks became more common in working class homes. These weren't decorative objects, they were tools. Factories demanded punctuality in a way agriculture never had. Being 5 minutes late could mean losing wages, repeated lateness could mean losing your job entirely. Time became strict, measured, and even controlled. The alarm clock wasn't invented just for convenience. It was invented for compliance, right? Instead of waking with the sun, people woke with the factory schedule. Instead of listening to their bodies, they listened to bells. And for the first time in history, millions of people began waking up before their bodies were ready. Every single day.
Every single day.
And if you can relate to that, so can we.
But industrial work, it was brutal. This is before labor laws in the 1800s. Well, their shifts could last 12 to 16 hours. Children worked in mills. Entire families depended on factory income. Alarm bells rang before dawn. Factory whistles echoed across the city. Sleep became something you squeezed in between obligations. Diaries from factory workers during this time, well, they describe consistent fatigue, falling asleep at tables, nodding off during meals, struggling to wake when alarms sounded. So the alarm clock became a symbol of survival. Not waking up on time didn't just mean inconvenience, it could mean hunger. And this pattern didn't disappear, it spread. Railroads, mines, shipyards, and eventually office jobs all depended on synchronized time. So the alarm clock became a silent partner in the growth of the modern economy. Every morning, well, it enforced the same rule: get up and go to work.
So, if factories perfected alarm based discipline, the military turned it into an art form, if you can imagine that. Surprise. Armies have always relied on synchronized waking drums, bugles, shouted commands. Revue isn't meant to be gentle. It's meant to be impossible to ignore. So the logic is simple. If everyone wakes together, everyone moves together. This idea spread into boarding schools, training camps, and prisons, places where routine matters more than comfort. In these environments, the alarm isn't just a reminder, it's authority. The sound itself becomes a signal. You're no longer in control of your time.
And I say before we get into the science behind being startled awake, I said we should take a small break.
Sounds good to me.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Have you thought about what you're getting your mom for Mother's Day? At Cozy Earth, they have a full line of apparel, PJs, shirts, socks, you name it, they have it. And if you buy any of their bedding, they have a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, free shipping on orders over $50 or more. And our listeners get an exclusive discount of 21% off just by using our code INFOGO at checkout. And you can do that at cozyearth.com. Find the link and the code in the show notes. If you're laying mulch, bedding animals, covering seeds, or just want your property looking right, there's one name you need to know. Irwin Farms, Middle Georgia's #1 wheat straw provider. When it comes to quality wheat straw, it matters. Clean, consistent, and ready to work because they don't cut corners, they bell it. Whether you're a homeowner, gardener, farmer, or you're just getting your hands dirty for the first time, they've got you covered. You can find the link in the show notes. Just Google Middle Georgia's #1 wheat straw provider. Either way, you'll find Irwin Farms. All right, so now that we're back, modern science reveals something fascinating. Being jolted awake by an alarm, well, it triggers a stress response in the body. Heart rate increases. Yeah, I can agree with that. I know mine does. Cortisol levels spike. The brain shifts suddenly from sleep mode into alertness. It's not dangerous for most people, but it really isn't natural either. Our bodies evolved to wake gradually with light, temperature changes, and internal rhythms. So the alarm clock, well, it interrupts that process. That groggy, disoriented feeling you get after the alarm rings, well, there's a name for it: sleep inertia. And it can last minutes or even hours, or in my case, sometimes all day.
All day.
Yeah. So, in a strange way, the very device designed to help us function in the morning, well, it often makes us feel worse, at least temporarily.
Then came one of humanity's greatest tiny rebellions, the snooze button. Invented in the mid 20th century, it gave people something they'd never had before: the ability to negotiate with the morning.
Negotiate, you say?
Yes, you
Hey,
have to negotiate for the time of your life. Doesn't that sound grand?
can you give me 5 more minutes, please?
10 more minutes, Mom? 10 more minutes?
Oh,
Anyway, it sounds small, but culturally it really mattered. For the first time, the alarm clock wasn't purely a command, it became a conversation, I guess. Sleep experts say snoozing can confuse the brain and make waking harder, but emotionally,
that snooze button, it feels like the warm blanket just coming over you on a cold day, you know?
yeah, I mean, it's just that little bit of control that you think you have.
It's comfort. Hey, I can have like 5, 9 more minutes, whatever you have your snooze set for.
Honestly, I wish it was a full 10. So Casey's phone has Android, which is a full 10 minutes, and my iPhone is 9 minutes, and I can't change that. And that really drives me up the wall.
So here's what you do. You set your alarms in 5 to 10 minutes increments, and then when it goes off, instead of hitting snooze, you just turn that alarm off.
That's a lot of alarms.
One day I will show you the alarms on my phone, and you're going to be
Mhm.
like, "What?" But the digital takeover. Let's get into that. So by the late 20th century, the classic metal alarm clock, well, it was replaced by digital versions and eventually the smartphone that everybody has. Now the alarm clock, it lives beside us in bed. It glows softly through the night. And unlike old alarm clocks, phones bring something new into the morning. Notifications, emails, news alerts, social media. Many people, well, now they encounter the entire world within seconds of waking. And all of that, what we're talking about is information overload. And some sleep researchers, well, they call this instant cognitive engagement. Your brain is going from 0 to 100 immediately. So the alarm clock didn't just wake us up anymore. It's connected us to everything now.
And while that sounds great, in theory, it's kind of stressful and overwhelming in practice. In recent decades, waking up early has become a symbol of success. Books, business leaders, and productivity gurus began promoting the idea that earlier always means better. I mean, the earliest bird catches the worm, right?
Maybe.
Anyway, the 5 a.m. routine morning optimization, owning the day before sunrise. The alarm clock became part of personal identity, not just when you wake, but what it says about you. Are you disciplined, ambitious, productive, or are you tired? All of the above.
Yeah,
All of the
I would
above,
agree.
right? So the irony is that sleep science increasingly shows that people have different biological sleep patterns, chronotypes, if you will. Some people are naturally early risers, others function best later in the day. But the alarm clock treats everyone the same, and society often does too.
Here's the strange part. The alarm clock is both helpful and harmful. It enables modern life, schools, jobs, transportation systems. Well, it really all depends on synchronized waking. But it also reminds us that time is no longer ours alone, especially now with the cell phones connecting us. Every morning begins with negotiation between biology and responsibility, between rest and obligation, between who we are and what the schedule demands. And that tiny device beside the bed represents something enormous, the human decision to live by the clock instead of by the sun.
I would rather live by the sun. Oh,
Unfortunately, I don't get paid by the sun.
indeed. Same. I don't either, and definitely not what is like considered a functional livable wage these days.
Yeah, because the sun really doesn't pay anything other than rays.
Heck no. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm rings, pause for just a second. That sound connects you to centuries of history. Factory whistles in the dark, footsteps of knocker uppers on cobblestone streets, military bugles at sunrise, digital tones in glowing bedrooms, and all of it leading to that one moment. Beep, beep, beep. The alarm clock isn't evil, it isn't cruel, and it isn't even complicated, even if you want to throw it out the window. It is powerful, but it controls the moment when dreams end and reality begins. And that might be why hitting the snooze button feels so good.
Feels like a warm cup of coffee. Sometimes I have to bribe myself to get out of bed.
Same.
But but no, I mean, if you stop and think about it, the alarm clock does have like a dark history. Like it is, it's made the world on a schedule, but it took away the natural sleep rhythm.
No circadian rhythm for you. I think that's all I've got today.
That's pretty much all I've got to. If you would like to support this podcast, tell a friend and help get the word out.
Absolutely. If you would like to support the show, you can do so at Patreon or take advantage of our show sponsors, and those links are in the show notes.
Kat and I want to say thank you for listening.
Whether you've been with us from day one or just tuning in, thank you.
You can also join the Facebook group at Info on the Go.
Over there, you can get to know us, ask us questions.
But whatever you do, follow us wherever you get your podcast.
You can also send us fan mail using the links in the show notes or leave a review.
Leaving that review, it really does help others find us. Email Kat or myself directly at,
Info on the go podcast at gmail.com.
and all of that is in the show notes. Till next time.
Stay curious.
If your stomach's been off lately, like bloating, reflux, or just not feeling right, there's a simpler way to get back on track.
With Professor B's Digestive Aid, which is an all natural blend of pure honey and ancient apitherapy, a herb rooted in Roman tradition. You know how at least they had some things right, right? It's designed to gently support and balance your digestion.
No long ingredient list, no harsh additives, just two powerful, time-tested ingredients working together. It's even the same formula used to help cancer patients manage digestive discomfort.
And right now, you can get an exclusive 10% off any product. Just use our code INFOGO at checkout.